Salutations. Welcome to my suffering, congealed into video form. It will include cut content, scene breakdowns, and mental breakdowns. I am so confused. So, you want to be a YouTuber, eh? Well, you've come to the completely wrong place. But, while I have you here, why don't we take a dive into what it took to make my previous video, making sure to highlight the goofies, the sillies, and the funnies along the way. You know what's hard to do? Staying on track. To say I get distracted easily would be an understatement, since I seem to be capable of doing everything except for that. Not great for when you're working with Blender, because Blender is a virtual three-dimensional world in which you can bring your wildest dreams to life. And I'm supposed to have a task to focus on, like animating the Peddler Pete rig, but then I accidentally grab the mesh instead of the bone and he starts to do a funny little dance, and then he's turned into a 15-foot eldritch horror. I could spend hours just doing the most random stuff inside Blender and probably never get bored, but it's not exactly time efficient when trying to get actual work done. I pride myself in having a lot of ideas, albeit most of them are bad ideas leading to large amounts of wasted time. For instance, during the beginning of this project, I was playing around with the idea of doing a music video segment. Nothing too long, 15 seconds at most, to be injected as a one-off joke. The whole premise was that Pete was getting judgment and criticism from other players, and then he would break out into song to say that he didn't care. All of it, of course, styled to resemble something made by Rick Astley. Two problems. First was the fact that I was planning to animate the whole thing in Blender, which for a 15-second segment is not worth the effort it would take to set everything up to even begin animating. And two, I don't know how to make music. But if I had done this whole thing, this is probably pretty close to what it would have looked like.
Of what you think about me.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it there. It really speaks for itself, doesn't it? Along with this music video, I was also planning to implement a lot more cinematics into key moments of the story. I had 3 planned. One somewhere in the beginning third, one here, and one at the end. But they never made it to the final cut. First to go was this, then the final cinematic. All due to copious amounts of technical difficulties. As far as I'm aware, there is no way to rip the RuneScape environment. There's ways to take individual models, but nothing in the way of the entire rendered world. And since I didn't want to start hand modeling this is gonna be a tree, purely for 30-second cinematics, I naturally began to look for a workaround. And that workaround came in the form of Meshroom. Ah, Meshroom. You had so much potential, and yet so little actual value. What is it? Well, it's a 3D scanning software. You input pictures into it and it generates 3D mesh. The plan was simple. Take a bunch of scans in-game and input them into Meshroom. Except that old school RuneScape just doesn't have the flexibility in its camera movement for that to be a viable option. But wait, there's the Orb of Oculus. That's for influencers only. Wait, they changed it. They changed it over 2 years ago. What about RuneScape 3? The Orb of Oculus is a common free-to-play item there. Sure, it won't look the same, but at least it's something. So let's just get some footage, and boom! It's generated a point cloud. Slight problem. I'm using Meshroom for a purpose it was not designed for. It's meant for real-life geometry, not for video game environments. Why is this a problem? Video games have 2D shapes. Where? Everywhere. The grass, the leaves, the water, the flowers, the bugs. You know where 2D objects aren't? Real life. So when Meshroom sees a 2D object, it short circuits and just goes, "What is that?" and makes it into a blob, which makes the entire thing look like this. You know, at the time I had told myself, it's not that bad, I can work with this. No, I could not. It's bad. Rigging. Too lazy to do it yourself? Use Mixamo. But if you run into a problem, good luck figuring out what it is, because they sure as hell don't know. The Peddler Pete model, sourced using dubious methods, does not come rigged. That's normal and to be expected. What's not is Mixamo's refusal to rig it. Let's take this step by step. Step 1. Dubiously source the model. Step 2. Open it in Blender. Step 3, export as an FBX file and upload it to Mixamo. Step 4, apply the chin, wrists, elbows, knees, and groin. Step 5, profit. No, it's backwards. That's not right. Okay, maybe something went wrong. Let's try again. Well, now it just doesn't want to do it. You did it before. Will an OBJ work? So it works, but it doesn't have color. Let's import it back. Where is it? Oh, it's tiny. All right, what if we transfer the skeleton over to the original? Oh no. Let's revert that and try again. Now it's not working no matter what I do. Can't even replicate what I got before. Why? What is going on? Am I going insane? I'm done with the OBJ route. Let's try figuring out the Mixamo problem. Okay, some vertices can mess it up, so maybe it's the shirt or his shoes. Let's just try something. It worked. It was his toes. It was his toes? His toes? Why the toes? Why on earth would the toes affect anything? This whole damn time I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going wrong, and it turns out to be the toes. I am going to scream. Whoever designed Mixamo should be fired. Out of a cannon. Into the sun. What is artifacting? An example of artifacting is this. You add blur to a layer that has transparency, and boom, you have artifacting. That's not supposed to be there. So artifacting is basically stuff that shows up that's not supposed to be there. Artifacting can be useful. For example, in the intro sequence, there's this shot of Pete running away from a growing bond. You may have seen it. And this part, kinda cool, right? Was by complete accident. I was playing around with presets and I stumbled upon this artifacting purely by accident. Like, what is this? Why is it there? Why is it doing what it's doing? But it looks cool, so it's staying. I tried replicating it and adding more, but when there's more, it just ends up looking like the video is being perpetually dunked in and out of an RGB deep fryer. So, here's a pro tip. If you want to get some weird looking artifacting when editing, throw an adjustment clip over your stuff, and just keep adding presets till your PC blows up. Anyway, that's about all we have time for today. More content is on its way to your doorstep, but in the meantime, subscribe. If you haven't for some reason seen the video this one's talking about, go watch it. Now. And now I will leave you with the rest of the song I made. Goodbye.
What you think about me? It's not that much to ask. I don't need your opinions, I only need one thing. Your stuff.
Oh, that's stupid.